International Studies. He was also a senior banker who was the head of public sector banking in the then Intercontinental Bank, now referred to as Access Bank. General Secretary, Chairman, and all the supporters here, may I introduce to you our future founder.
Oh, I thought you said the response is a slide. You see, you have failed. Okay, thank you very much. This is the time that we call upon your team to submit your documentation for verification. Thank you very much.
So you officially present.
The General Secretary,
yes, sir.
National Executive Committee members, Mr. Chairman of Protocol. Before I present this, I want our team to sing this song. We are going, heaven knows where we are going. We know we will get there. Heaven knows where we will get there. We know we will.
We have photocopies of this.
Oh, we can show you, don't worry.
Okay.
You can talk about it later.
check more and you cost. Check more. Buy from running carrier.
Yeah, what they trade there can be so that. Date. The date. And the date up to today. It's been filled.
There's one more. There's one more. There's one more.
Yes, is he here?
Yeah, the same thing for this.
This one, the last one. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we've gone through the forms, and on the surface, everything appears to be compliant. So, but the devil is always in the details. So I'll proceed to sign them, indicating that the nomination process has been completed and the forms have been accepted. However, if we discover any clerical error between today and 3 days' time, we will draw the attention of Team Sly to come and rectify. We don't want to be exclusive in this process. We want it to be more inclusive. There are occasions where you can have party members trying to play mischief. The rules don't allow one person to sign for more than one candidate. But if somebody is signing your document, you will not have any information whether he has signed for somebody else. So we don't think that those things must be blamed on the candidate. So if we go through and there is any clerical error like that, you will be called and given opportunity to rectify that thing before the date of the vetting. And so I hereby now sign the documents. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Do a presentation.
we will now present a copy. The form is always in triplicate. So we will be using 2 for our purposes. But we will present the 3rd copy back to the flag bearer or the aspirant. Well, I've upgraded Yes. So this is evidence of the payment of the filing fee of 300,000 Ghana cedis. And these are the forms duly completed. We have received the postcard pictures and we have received the CV. As I have said, the pictures will also be examined by experts in the ballot paper printing. If they find any problem with it, they will draw your attention to replace them. If it is okay, then you will come and then verify the draft ballot paper before we proceed to print. We will issue election notices. So what will happen is that we will now, if your forms are declared fully compliant, we will invite you for vetting. The composition of the vetting committees, I'm sure we have done some background discussion. So the composition of the vetting committees will be known. The vetting committee, the appeals committee, and the electoral committee will be known by close of day tomorrow. Then they will invite you, the vetting committee will invite you and schedule you for vetting. After vetting, there will be balloting for places on the ballot paper. After the balloting, you will have a copy of the voters' register. of course, we may give it to you in electronic form. Then you go and then print it yourself and use it for your campaigning. And so all along, we want to work with you so that you attest to the transparency of the. There is another critical assignment which you will be called upon to participate, and that will be the printing of the ballot papers. When it happens like that, when they start printing of the ballot papers, we will not break for anything. If it takes 3 days, we will be there 3 days, so you need people who will go on shift. So from beginning to end, there will be no break for anybody to go and sleep and come and continue. We will print all of them, and when we finish, all of us will seal them together, and then you will have the comfort that you have monitored every process. If along this path there's anything happening and you feel you need some information about it, please let us know. If, as we have indicated in our guidelines, we are monitoring people and monitoring their campaign messages. We want to avoid foul language as much as possible. We want to be very decent. In the past, if anything had happened, we will consider it as something that had happened or that had been engaged in by somebody who was not officially known to the party as our aspirant. From today, we will want to implement the guidelines as fully and as strictly as possible. And so, draw our attention to what you consider to be infractions on the part of other candidates. Because there are times you may assume that what you have heard somewhere has been heard by everybody, but it may not be the case. So when you have reason to suspect that there is the slightest indication that the way things are going may not favor you, let us know and let us do everything. We want to be as transparent as possible to make sure that the one who emerges as our flag bearer will be acceptable to all. And we always believe that it doesn't matter who wins, but how that person wins matters a lot. And so we are committing ourselves to this road of transparency, but we can do it only with your cooperation. So I want to thank you very much. At this stage, I'll hand over your copy of the form, that is Form 3, to you, and then we will give you opportunity to address the gathering. Thank you very much.
Our National Party Chairman, the General Secretary, members of the National Executive Committee, members of the NDC, it's my pleasure to say thank you to you for this opportunity to address the media. I'm exceedingly pleased with the way the submission of the forms have gone, and we're encouraged by the General Secretary's words of comfort of a level play field for all aspirants. I guess for a context like this, the key ingredient is to have the confidence of a leveled play field. And that is what we have by word of mouth. It is our expectation that these words will be concretized in action in a way that would make us all happy at the end of the contest, irrespective of the outcome. Our cherished media partners, I guess you have been alive to our protestations over what we consider exorbitant filing fees. But I wish to say that notwithstanding, we are obliged by our commitment to our loyal support base and compelled by our desire for a reinvigorated NDC and our vision for Ghana to forge ahead, notwithstanding. My victory and our victory would precipitate a new dawn and a departure from the lack of political will, inertia, and drawbacks in the governance of this country. It is ideas that shape and change the world, and we believe we have it in more than enough measure to take both party and country forward. We're encouraged by a verse in the scripture that says, "The race is not for the swift, nor the battle for the strong." Ecclesiastes 9:11. The battle is the Lord's. We have taken some time to go around some regions and constituencies. We feel stampeded into an election because the time frame for the elections appears rather too short. We are certainly not able, under the circumstances, to undertake an effective campaign that would require complete and total engagement of all our delegates across the country. Under the circumstances, we may be compelled to use the media in reaching out to the mass of our members. We have always thought that there are messages that you could deliver to focus groups of the party, and messages that should not necessarily be in the media domain. It's a family affair, and we need to speak to our family members in the quiet. But as it is now, we may be compelled to use the media in transmitting our information as effectively as possible, since we will not have enough time to go around the constituencies. But in all this, we'll do the best we can in all decency to ensure that at the end of the day, we could have a united party after these elections. I am very convinced that Sylvester Mensah eventually would emerge as the flag bearer of the NDC. I am encouraged by the prophetic statement by the General Secretary when he mentioned and referred to me as a flag bearer of the NDC. I want to assure all those who heard him that it was not by accident. It was the hand of God. I want to assure all party members that we believe in the unity of our party. We assure you of rewarding loyalty. We assure you of prosperity for all. We assure you of giving power back to our party. We assure you that in government, we'll ensure that we look at policies through the lens of social democracy and deepen our social democratic credentials in government in such a way that will keep us apart from all other political parties. This is not a day for too much talk. We want to say a very big thank you to all of you, and in particular, all my supporters who have come here freely, willingly. Nobody here has been biased by anybody. Everybody has come on his own free will. We want to say that we're a grassroots party. We need to get back to our base, to our values, and I can assure you that at the end of the day, when you give me the mandate as flag bearer, I won't disappoint you. Thank you very much.